Oh man, so you would have seen my video earlier today that COTI was breaking out, and I warned that this could be a fake out, and it was exactly that. We've headed straight back into our downward channel, and the wedge is not broken. So you can see we've got this fake out here. This happens very often. Now normally, if you're staying bullish, you come and test this wedge and then you bounce back up, but this has just come straight back down into the channel, and this is back to bearish for COTI. This is quite disappointing, but it happened as Bitcoin cooled off. So as Bitcoin's struggling to fight the $50,000 mark, this is naturally going to have an impact on COTI, which wants to push higher. But now you can see it's well into my buy zone, and now this is an interesting time for me to be picking up a bit more COTI if you have a long-term perspective. For those of you who are trading, you have to take your own risk at that point, but at the moment you're in a downward trend and you want to stick with the trend at the moment. There's no evidence of breaking this just yet. So we're heading back down. Got to find some support really at this level, which is the 52-cent mark. You've seen a green candle here on the hourly, which shows that you're getting a bit of a fight back here at the 52-cent mark. Just as your next level, if you lose the 52-cent mark, like I said, we're going to head down to the bottom of this box at 49 cents. So if you're a long-term investor, this is a great time, not financial advice, but this is a great time to be accumulating COTI, because it's giving you a really good opportunity to buy at a cheap level between your 52 mark and your 49 mark. So like I said, I've got my buy level drawn here. I'll be nibbling a bit more COTI here for the long run, because it's about time. It's only a matter of time before we hit the 66 level mark. Obviously breakouts, fake outs are always frustrating for short-term traders, which is why it's always super risky, but that's exactly why you have your stop loss, because sometimes you get these fake outs and then the market just shuns you back down into the channel. So back into this channel, heading back into this box. Wanted to make this quick update so you guys can see what's happening with COTI. The wider Bitcoin market is of course going to have an impact on this. You can see Bitcoin, if I zoom out to the 4-hourly candles, we can see Bitcoin is struggling there at the $50,000 mark, as I suggested in my Bitcoin video. It's not going to be easy to break this mark. Like I said, it's a big psychological level, and when you do break it, you will get some serious movements on Bitcoin. But for now, it's going to take a little bit of fighting and momentum for it. I wouldn't be shocked if we head back down to 47,850 or even the 46 mark on a bearish situation, creating what we see here. I wouldn't even rule out at this point a 43. Your bearish situation would be creating, let's see if I can get my brush, would be creating an even this type of head and shoulder back down here, right? Creating the right shoulder. This is your left shoulder. That's your right shoulder. That could be a situation we see. But your bearish case is we just break through the 50. Your mid case is kind of testing one of these levels and carrying on. And then if we head lower to the 43 level mark, then we could be building a really big head and shoulder, which you can see on the daily chart, that head and shoulder pattern with a neckline helping us to break higher. So these are the bears' last chances to really stop Bitcoin from heading over the 52 mark. You can still see on the daily, it's still a green candle, but you can see it's a green candle with wicks above 50. So technically we wouldn't get a close above 50. We need a close above 50 really to secure that level. I want to see a full candle, an open and a close above the 50 level mark to really secure 50. I don't celebrate when it ticks 50 because you get fake outs like we saw with COTI. Let's take a look at how we're getting on with Algorand. So you can see Algorand is kind of getting rejected as well at the top of this wedge. So you mentioned we had the first price target at the top of the wedge. We've hit that price target. Let's go to the 4-hourly. We can see a bit more clearly. You can see we hit the first target exactly there, $2.05. If you took your profit, congratulations. You would have made a nice 18-19% on your trade, even if you waited till after the breakout. If you were confident here, then I wouldn't have been at this point. I mean, this is very bearish at this point. You can be confident on a trade once it's breaking out here, and you would have got kind of a safe 16, 17, 18% based on your entry. You're going to get a calling off now. Like I said, that calling off can even come down to $1.85 or $1.79 before trying to head higher. So this is the top of the wedge here is acting like resistance, $2.05. And then your next level is really at $2.15. So we could get a bit of a calling off. Again, the wider market will need to move for Algorand to get some movements on a short-term perspective. Let's take a look at Luna. Luna's calling off as well. So basically the whole market is calling off as Bitcoin's kind of taken a hit, as Bitcoin's kind of getting rejected. Sorry, it's in the process of getting rejected because it could change any minute now. But as Bitcoin is struggling to break the 50,000 mark, everything else is kind of cooling off a little bit. So you got, like I said, Algorand calling off there. We can see the Luna is calling off there. But Luna's been an absolute tear. I mean, look at that. Let's go to the daily. I mean, Luna's on an absolute tear. It's beat that high there. So you can put that level in there, and it's just doing quite well now. So Luna's a strong one right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, let's get our EMA ribbon back. I wouldn't be surprised if Luna at some point came back down for a correction. And I think that's pretty healthy as well. If you've got a bit of a correction down, if you've not entered Luna, if it comes back to test this EMA ribbon, if we get a calling off, that could be an interesting level for Luna testing back down to this EMA ribbon, just like it did here actually. So if you saw here, when it ran up and hit this level last time, obviously this would depend on the wider market as well, but if you look at that, that's a 46% correction, and then you would have bought Luna 46% cheaper here and still ended up at the same level up there. So you've got to be clever with your entries and time these. Don't start chasing these on pumps when they become extended from the EMA ribbon. Don't start chasing these. That's not the right thing to do. Solana calling off as well. Same pattern for everything. You can just see it kind of heading up and just tipping over now because Bitcoin's calling off. Everything else is calling off a little bit. Dogecoin is actually up 5%. Again, like I said to you guys, there's a few coins which I said haven't been on a run at all. I might make a video on this. Comment below if you want to see that video with coins which have potential to move, which are yet to move. I might make that tomorrow actually. So Dogecoin was one of those and BNB was another. Two of these coins which just haven't had a big move recently, and now you can see Dogecoin is up 5%. So you can see that's a tremendous move for Dogecoin, doing pretty well, but that's just because it didn't move before. So yeah, you would have made 38% uptick on your Doge from just the 19 level. We're now back up at 25, and Dogecoin really needs to get above 28 cents on Dogecoin. Theta doing pretty well. I've got a bag of Theta as well. Finally, Theta's moving 10% today. Check Theta out. Interesting from Theta, 45% in just the last kind of 6-7 days there. 10 days there on Theta. Very impressive on Theta. Again, another one which just hasn't moved enough recently. So I think that's what's going to happen. These are the kind of patterns we need to spot in the market, is start to find altcoins which haven't moved, because they're going to be due a move, right? You know, Solana, Luna, Algorand to an extent has moved. What are the coins that haven't moved? And in my portfolio, you know, you got the likes of Theta, which hasn't moved, Chainlink, DOT hasn't moved massively. We know Matic had a tear up earlier on in the year. These kind of coins are what I'm interested in. BNB hasn't moved too much. So these are the coins you kind of want to look at and see which ones haven't had much movement, and therefore we can assign some risk to those ones. If you want to see me do a video on that, please comment below and I can make a video showing you how I analyze which coins haven't moved and which ones have the potential to move, because they haven't had their momentum move just yet. But there you go, guys. There's an update on COTI. It's fallen back into the downward wedge, so it's flipped bearish again in that downward channel, but it's falling into my buy area because I think, you know, buying COTI at 50 cents, 49 cents is an absolute steal, because ultimately this is going to go and break 66 cents very soon. I mean, the fundamentals have only got better, so we've already touched 66 cents many times before. There's no reason we can't break that and head higher towards that dollar mark. So COTI, long play for me. I mean, daily you'll be frustrated because you won't see massive movements in it, but that's why when you're buying and holding, you just need to buy and hold and look at the market every so often. But when you're trading, then obviously you want to be a bit more actively involved. There you have it, guys. That was the update on COTI and a few other coins. If you like this type of video, then please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.